Did heat factor in that a little bit? You get on that artificial turf and it's really hot.
Well, you go down there today and you stand on that black top that's down there, which is what the artificial sidelines will be on top of, and it's really hot. And so definitively, especially those early season games in September when it is hot, it does play a factor in the student athlete welfare for sure.
You know, there were those that were surprised by this because he runs kind of a spread speed offense type thing, and always the idea has been that turf is faster. So I think some of the fans were kind of surprised when that decision was made.
I think Coach Morse and his coaching staff, they believe natural grass is faster.
There's something, though, about playing on grass that's maybe a little bit more romantic, the smell or the feel in the air or something. Can you just describe that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you come out here and the freshly cut grass and the smell that you get from that, and the freshly painted grass and the grass stains on your uniforms, and even if you have a little bit of rainy day and you get a little mud, I mean, that's football. That's what you remember football being, especially as a child growing up.
Now, the problem they had with natural grass in the south end zone with the sun, late in the year when it went lower, they kind of had trouble keeping that grass green.
I'm not a grass expert, but I have been told that this Tullahoma 31 solves that issue. It's about 2 years old, the brand of this grass, and with the evergreen matrix system developed in Australia that's installed underneath of it, it's supposed to solve that problem, and time will tell, but we have a backup field. If we have any issues, there's a backup field for us in Memphis that we can replace any of the dead spots that we may have.
How long before they can get on there and start playing after it's installed?
Well, August 31st for sure, but you know what we've been told is within a week that this will really have taken root. But you can walk down there right now. You can't move it. It's that heavy. So it'll take root within a week and be playable shortly thereafter.
There was some information that there was a mesh under it or whatever that would hold it together.
That's that Australian matrix, that evergreen matrix. It's the first ever field in the United States that will have that system in place to hold the grass.
Now, what about drainage? Somebody said the drainage was kind of already there from before.
The drainage was already there before, and it's been, I guess, redeveloped, renovated to fit the natural grass surface, but it was in place.
Why are you personally excited about this? You made this decision, you guys made this decision, you got excited. Why? Why does it, you know, we've been doing this turf thing for so long.
Football is meant to be played on natural grass. And we think we've got a product that will allow that to happen here in the state of Arkansas, the natural state, and it just makes sense for us to have it. And again, we compete against the majority of the schools in the Southeastern Conference have natural grass, and it's better for our student athletes to compete on the same surface every Saturday.
Hunter, you and Chad both one full season in the SEC to acclimatize and see what it's all about. What do you see in place from him, a foundation in terms of building this program up to into contention?
Well, what he talks about is culture, and even through a 2-10 season, the culture was really taking shape for our football program under his leadership, and you can see that as you go out and watch practice, that there's just kind of a new energy within our football program. We got a very positive attitude. I mean, we have some young players that are going to play this year. I mean, I think the numbers are 50 true freshmen, redshirt freshmen or transfers, and 20-some sophomores. So we've got some young men that are going to have to play and have to develop some confidence early, and I think that's why we have a favorable schedule early in the season to help those young guys get some confidence.
One of your sons is now a part of that. What's it like to have Jacob here?
I'll try to let him spread his wings and kind of make his own path here at the football program here at the University of Arkansas. But it's really neat for a father to have him a part of what Chad Morse is building here in the culture. And it allowed Jake, me being here, to kind of take a peek behind the curtain and see what Chad was building. And I think he felt like after he went to Colorado and then saw a peek behind the curtain that this was the right place for him to play football.
All across the board, you know, it's been kind of a rough decade for athletics down here, but you've made a lot of changes in the past few months. What do you have to say to fans about where we're headed?
Well, I'd say all across the board, it has not been a rough 10 years. I say they may think football and men's basketball per se, but we won 2 national championships this past year, 4 individual national championships, 4 SEC championships. We finished ranked as the 23rd overall athletic program in the country. But I understand, Coach Morris understands, Coach Musselman understands that people, Arkansas fans, they want to see our football and men's basketball program have the same level of success that our baseball program is having, that our track and field programs having, that our men's golf programs having. and that's what Chad Morris and Eric Musselman are building towards.
Those two coaches have kind of gravitated toward each other. I mean, Musselman was out here the other day. They've talked. They kind of have similar philosophies about a culture of a player-led culture within their team. Is that pleasing to you?
Absolutely. I mean, if your football and your men's basketball programs can be in sync, the coaches can be in sync, and they can share similar cultures, that's going to help both of those programs develop and grow.
Sure. So we have 4 drivers that have actually transported across the state. They have been up all night, so there's some tired guys for us, but started around midnight, about a 45-minute loading process, and then we've delivered here early this morning, and that's some of the sod that you're seeing being laid right now. We have about 25 shipments that are coming over the next 3 or 4 days to complete the foundation of the sod.
Why did you feel like that this was a home run for the guys to be involved?
Well, I think the first thing I would say is we really believe we've got an opportunity to lay the foundation for the next national championship. So for us, being an Arkansas-based company, but also right here in Northwest Arkansas, being a part of what will be history for us was a critical component for us to consider. It's a great question. So the trucks are all refrigerated units. We've hauled the first 4 shipments ourselves, and then we've partnered with 4 other carriers that are located all across the state. We really wanted to bring a sense of pride across the community to allow other people from different parts of the state to participate.
I think everything's gone according to plan. So.
Everything's gone according to plan, but in transportation, when service is critical, we actually have 5 drivers here. So we had 4 shipments, 1 extra driver just in case something went wrong, but he just came along for the ride.
Yes, just the logistics, going through all that. It takes so much work to do it, but then to see it come to fruition, go through the process today, and take on that.
Well, the drivers are obviously beaming with pride. We have some pretty diehard Razorback fans right here getting to watch it install on the field. Then we've got a few Tennessee fans that we're converting along the way, but obviously for us to see us be involved in this process has been something that's been great.
Let's start at the beginning with the removal of the old turf. What all went into that?
So, through the process, Mike, we knew what we were planning on doing. We had to execute a plan. Obviously, Hunter gave us a couple years to put it together, which was good. We removed the turf back in April. Obviously, got it out of the way. Then we basically went down to the sub base, redid some things that we knew we needed to adjust. Thankfully, back in 2009, we planned for the fact of possibly going back to natural. So obviously with Pat's help, I think we got one of the best sports turf managers in the country, and we put a plan together and just executed and got that out of here, and then built it back up and put a drainage system back in, sand base profile here as you see, and then last piece of the puzzle is starting today.
How hard was it to take that old turf up?
It wasn't bad. Obviously, we did some things back in 2009 that other people didn't do. It came up in a matter of about a day and a half, 2 days, and got it out of here. So it was a pretty quick process.
Now the long process was the growing of the grass, and you guys had a shot up on your website, and at first it looked really kind of weird. It was like, whoa, what's going on there? And I think fans got a little antsy, but it worked out.
Yeah, I understand that. Our plan was to execute the planning in the last week of March, early April over in Arlington. Obviously, with the rains this spring, it was a little bit of a tougher process than we thought. But we did get it ended up sprigged the 2nd or 3rd week of April, and everything obviously went very well. Then we planted another field that actually here in the last 2 or 3 weeks has really caught up with the original field. So we actually have plenty of wiggle room in case we run out of square footage.
So if, for instance, you have a problem, now I know this turf is supposed to not do what the old one did years ago, where you don't have sun late in the year and it started to go dormant on you, but if it does, you've got other turf.
Right. We want to make sure we had contingency plans in place. So the big thing to us was technology's improved, so let's go with the new technology, which is obviously Tahoma 31. It's cold tolerant, shade tolerant, just as you said. It's only been out a couple years, but it's tested really well and proven really well. Then obviously combined with that, we put the matrix system in from Australia that they're having a lot of success with on rugby fields and things of that nature down there. So we feel with that combination, and obviously with our sports turf manager, Pat, we feel pretty good that we got a good shot. However, if we do have any problems, we have replacement field and or replacement pieces, I guess you could say, in Memphis, and that was actually one of the reasons that we decided to go with that turf farm with Winstead, because of the fact that their proximity to us, we could turn around replacement pieces of sod within a day.
Really interesting to watch these guys lay this down. I didn't realize the precision by which they do it. I mean, they're cutting and they're putting seams down, and a few minutes after the seams, you can't hardly see the seams.
Yeah, they're obviously very good at what they do. They do it for a living, and there's a couple of guys from Australia out there that are helping too, and there's some more actually on the way that got delayed last night. So we got about 5 or 6 more guys coming in this afternoon, and we only did 4 trucks today, but we're going to go up to 7 trucks tomorrow, and then we're trying to avoid the heat of the day, basically.